Welcome to SoulCollage Storytime. I'm Anne-Marie Bennett from kaleidosoul.com, which is hopefully your SoulCollage playground. SoulCollage is an intuitive process that was created by our beloved founder, Seena Frost. Today I'm reading an essay from my book, Through the Eyes of SoulCollage, which contains 87 short essays about how SoulCollage has affected my life. This one is from chapter 15 called The Art of the Pause. As a self-professed self-help junkie, I have been to more than my share of lectures, workshops, and retreats. I have learned oh so much about myself from the time I've spent in the presence of so many gurus of personal development and spiritual growth. But the biggest lesson I ever learned while listening to someone else present a workshop was when the leader simply stopped talking for a minute and a half. Yes, that's right. No words were involved in this lesson of all lessons. A few years ago at Kripalu, I was participating in a session with Daniel Levin, who was leading a workshop on body-centered expressive therapy. About halfway through his presentation, someone asked a question. Whatever she asked is long gone from my memory, but I will always remember how he responded. He simply stopped. He paused for a few seconds, looking down at the microphone in his hand. Then he said, "I'm sorry, I don't know exactly how to answer that. Give me a minute to get my thoughts together first." Then he set the microphone down on the floor, closed his eyes, and proceeded to think for a full minute and a half. I had never seen anything like this before, and I was totally amazed. As the seconds slid by, I recognized this as one of the most awakening moments of my life. What a relief, I thought. What a blessed relief. We don't always have to have an answer. We can pause anytime we need to, even if it doesn't seem appropriate. I always thought that when someone asked me a question, I had to immediately spout forth some kind of an answer, or I would be taken less seriously. I always thought that not knowing the answer to a question was a marked sign of my own inadequacy and failure. But that day, I learned otherwise. In her book, Radical Acceptance, Tara Brach points out that pausing is a sacred thing. She says that it is the very first step in our own ability to embrace our lives with loving acceptance. I believe that that is what Daniel Levin was doing that day as he paused so deeply before answering the question presented to him. He was trusting his own innate wisdom to call forth an answer to the question. He was opening his soul to the possibility of discovering an answer for us in his audience, as well as for himself. Let us all remember that when we pause, even for a few moments, we are consciously giving our souls time and space to listen. In this sacred pause, we are better able to hear all of the inner voices that go chattering on day after day, demanding our attention, draining our energy. Most importantly, when we pause, we allow time and space for spirit to flow into and through us. Time for reflection. Consciously give yourself a few minutes to practice the art of the pause this week. Try pausing for just a few seconds every time someone asks you a question. You could try it at night before you close your eyes, or before each meal, or when you wash your face in the morning. Simply pause for several seconds and acknowledge the fact that you are pausing, that you are resting in silence, that you are quietly entering your own inner world. If you practice SoulCollage, you might look and see if you have any cards in your deck that represent the part of you who enjoys pausing, or maybe the part of you who doesn't. Can you make a card this week to honor this part? Here, I have several cards in my deck for this idea of pausing and slowing down. And this is one of them, my Strawberry Woman. I am the one who takes the time to savor the moment. Thank you for joining me today for SoulCollage Storytime, and I will see you here next week.